Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna play some more Your Boyfriend. So, we recently got an update where we finally have a save feature. And today, so we have load, so we could save. But today we're gonna do we're gonna try to go for the abusive 2-frow again, because I had one option I did not do. And we're gonna go for the TK, the special TK route. Let's begin. Enter your name. Well, because it's YN. Welcome, YN. You two have fun. My life has been chaotic. My family broke into another fifth drama, so I left the nest and ran straight to college. I got an apartment and a job, but even that has become unbearable. Working at the local greasy-spoon diner doesn't pay the best, obviously, so finding a roommate was my only recourse, being able to afford an apartment. Now, my roommates always bring some dropout into our apartment for late-night, steady sessions. My sleep schedule is wrecked, and top it off, the rent's late. I've heard once that if you become a roommate with a friend, you won't stay friends for long. Pretty sure my mom told me that. In my case, my friendship is strained, with my friend making excuses for why they need me to cover their half of the rent. Thanks to that deadbeat, I'm working harder just to scrape by every month. Picking up a second job will drive me to early grave at this point. The park gives me a chance to have some much needed alone time. This part of the park in particular is my favorite because it's untouched by not just family members or college jerks. The only people who come here are the groundskeepers. Even then, they only come by in the morning. And yeah, and CERN us and the CERN stalker. Closing my eyes, I rub my face and breathe out the tension from my body so that I can enjoy the peace and quiet. Just then, I feel someone sit down beside me. Startled, I turn to face the interloper.
Whoa, hey, take it easy. It's just me.
Hey, Peter. The stranger says, trying to keep me from leaping too high off the park bench. You get this picture, he's actually just trying to grab you. You're a jumpy one, aren't ya? Scooting arcly towards me, a shy smile creeps over his face. I keep my eyes on him, like a hawk, unsure what his intentions are. Not once do his unblinking eyes stray from mine. So are you waiting for a family member or a friend? It's just kind of odd for you to be sitting here all alone like this, and so far away from the jogging track. A chill runs down my spine. I cross my arms over my chest and slide myself away from him, perching closer to the edge of the bench. Does the same person walk up to you out of the blue and start asking such questions? I have had weirder questions. The stranger picks up from my own knees, refraining from the moving any closer towards me. Crossing his fingers in between his legs, he smiles warmly. I mean, you don't look like a groundskeeper or one of those old people feeding pigeons after doing Tai Chi. No, I am just one of those old people feeding pigeons after doing Tai Chi. What's Tai Chi? I'm just getting some alone time to myself. Things have been pretty intense lately. It's like he wants to wrap his arms around me and comfort, fingers twitching.
Look, I know this is sudden, very sudden, but may I have the pleasure in taking you out to dinner?
Can I have the pleasure? Never mind, he's weird. I'm sure this is trying to be polite, but I can't tell if he's just him being socially awkward or eccentric. What? Why? Why is he interested in me of all people?
Well, I'm your boyfriend. Isn't that why you're here?
Yes. My boyfriend? Why would he be assuming that we're in a relationship? The stranger sits patiently, waiting for my answer. Dinner does sound nice. I guess. It's not like I'm doing anything anyways, and it would be a nice break from the monthly. God knows I could stand to forget my problems for a few hours. This guy seems interesting enough to keep my mind off things. Really, that's great. He beams, holding my hand in his own. I'll see you tonight at 7. Standing up from the bench, he pauses, realizing something. Oh, I almost forgot. We need a place to meet up. Sorry, I know I sound absent-minded, but I'm just so excited. How about that old diner downtown? It's nice and quiet, so no one will disturb us. Diner downtown? Which one? You know, the one you work at. Oh, okay. Great, see you tonight. It's like, just comes like quiet all of a sudden, like, oh, okay. Just like that, he hurries off with a skip and a step, as though he had just won the lottery. Well, Peter, you did not win the lottery this time. I watch as he disappears down the path that bends around the shallow hill. The park is quiet again, the serene loneliness singing me in once more, songbirds singing in a nearby tree. I sit there for a while, replaying the strange encounter in my head. I suppose I should be flattered that he took such a liking to me, however unusual it seemed. It's nothing like I sing in the movies or television. But then again, if I were Hollywood attractive, maybe it would be so normal that it would be almost annoying. I feel my cheeks flush as I reflect on him saying, "Can I have the pleasure?" A shy smile creeps from the corner of my mouth. He must be as new to this as I am. What a shy, awkward guy. The birds stopped singing as I feel a knot growing in my stomach. How did he know where I work? "7 p.m. I show up at the diner, feeling rather unusual about meeting someone at the place I work at for a completely spontaneous dinner date, and with a complete stranger who somehow knew that I worked here. Weird. The diner isn't very busy tonight, which is unsurprising. Even though I work here, the diner isn't my first place for dinner. Maybe he was another customer that I had never paid attention to. While I work, I let my mind drift, and after a while, I go on autopilot. I don't really pay that much attention to the names and faces, even if they are regulars. Maybe he was one of those regulars building up his courage to ask me out every day, but eventually losing his nerve. It's kind of cute thought though. I'll consider if it's wise to encourage him. Taking my seat, I wait, checking the old-fashioned neon light clock that hangs over the jukebox. I notice he's 5 minutes late. I might as well buy myself a milkshake in the meantime. The waitress on the tonight's shift is surprised to see me here on my day off. I imagine that she'll tell me, job loyalty is one thing, but the food here is not worth writing home about. After serving the stuff for a few months now, I agree with her. At least the milkshakes are good. They are the really old-fashioned kind, made with real ice cream ingredients, unlike the powder mix and flavored syrups of the fast food places. The waitress must have been less busy than I assumed because she brought me my shake. Brought my shake to me only a few minutes later. I pull out the spoon from the vintage glass and lick it clean. So good! I stir up the shake a little before I take a sip. A man rushes for the diner's door, like he ran the whole way here, with something tucked carefully under his arm. I immediately recognize his sleeveless hoodie and blue shirt. Yep. Plus, no matter what, he's gonna be the only one running into this diner in a panic. He quickly scans the diner in panic. He probably thought Diary left. I wave him over and a wave spreads across his face. When he hurries down the rows of the booths and sits across from me. You know what would be really funny if TK was actually there that night? You're late. I know. I'm so sorry. I had to make a quick stop. As he speaks to me between breaths, I try to place where he might have been before coming here. The stranger pulls out a long white box that he was carrying, places it on the table, and sliding it over to me. Here, I brought this for you. Thinking about earlier today in the park, it might have been a little creepy to ask you for a date on the spot. I thought I might get you a little something as a way of apologizing. If it was awkward for you, of course. You got something for me? Really? It better not be a severed ear or fingers or something. Open the box, I see 2 long stem roses with deep red petals. The thorns were removed and they bound by shivering black silk ribbon. Personally, I'll be happy with that. But, seriously, roses, seriously? Gee, thanks. The creepy black ribbon makes me wonder if there's a card attached to that reads, "To my future murder-suicide." Like, no, I don't think so. It's gonna try to ease us into that. Into his otherness. It's not at all thrilled with the gift I place costly in the table in front of me. His face drops, and he reaches out to take them back. Oh, I'm sorry. If you don't like them, I could head out and get you something else. What do you like? Daisies? Sunflowers? Lilies? I fold my arms, annoyed with how pathetic he is. I mean, I know he's a yandere, but I won't get mad at him for giving me roses. Come on, you show up late, bring some roses that look like they come from a funeral home, and I have to buy myself a milkshake while waiting for you. Do you think that some cachet roses are going to make up for this? His shoulders fall, holding the roses close to his chest. He mutters awkwardly. I'm so sorry. I'll pay for the milkshake. How do you know where I work anyways? I stir my milkshake and wait for as he fumbles out his explanation. Oh, I walk by here often, almost every day in fact. I catch little glimpses of you through the window whenever you're working, so that's how I know. It's not almost every day, it's guaranteed every day, though. I mean, I try coming in to see you, but I lose my courage every time. Well, that's not creepy or anything. He sinks down more into his seat. I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you. I'll take you out to a nicer place next time, and I'll be more punctual too, I promise. He clutches the roses in his chest as if in prayer, figuring out how to get on my good side. I just reach for my milkshake, more interested in food than talking to him. I could use him for another free meal at a nicer place. The idea is appealing as I reflect on the empty fridge at home, filled with nothing but ice trays and sauce packets from cheap takeout. Keeping the idiots in pants, I take a sip of my delicious shake. With a satisfied sigh, I lean back and look at the worm in front of me. Alright, I suppose I could give you a second chance. His posture immediately strains. Really? You mean it? But you better be on time and bring chocolates. Okay, I don't need chocolates. I point to the napkin dispenser on the table. Write your number and I might call you when I get some spare time. Yes, of course. He gets a pen from his pocket, quickly writes down his number on the paper before handing it to me. I'll do better, much better next time. Taking the napkin, I look at the number and notice that there's no name on it. Are you trying to be anonymous or something? I tap my finger where a name should be. My name is a joke, you know. To be honest, I prefer to go by whatever you prefer to call me. He frowns in disgust. What, you hate your name that much? He nods before looking at me, squeezing the pen in his hand. You can call me... For all I care, that's what I deserve for such a terrible evening. He did have a point. Okay, how about... We're not calling that only because I don't want to be that mean. How about YB? He seemed pleased with what I came up with, despite how silly or tacky it might have been. Yeah, that's much better. Honestly, thank you. He writes it down on the fragile bit of paper before handing it back to me. I roll my eyes. Just pay for my shake. It's getting dark, and I didn't like walking home at night. I walk by the waitress and tell her that the guy in the sleeveless hoodie is paying for the shake. She could tell that I was in one of those moods and just shrugged. I don't even say goodbye to YB before I left. It's getting cold outside, and I could feel my skin growing goosebumps. Maybe it was the dropping temperature, or the ice cream cooling me from the inside out. I don't know. Or it's my ice cold heart. I glance back to make sure the weirdo isn't following me. He peers at me through the window, waving at me. I just kept walking. When I got close to the apartment, I took a different path home. A path on a road opposite from my home. It's paranoid precaution, but better to be safe than sorry. My stomach growls bitterly. Next time, I will make him order everything on the menu. Or me everything on the menu, just out of spite. I would not be able to do that. Not just because of the money thing, I can't eat that much. Once back at my place, I hear my roommate and their study partner doing something other than studying. Walking by their room, I pound on their door. Our people are trying to live here, you know. Flopping into my bed, face down, and limps out. I let out a long, miserable groan. I take a moment to rest before rolling over onto my back and stare at the ceiling. I look at the sloppy handwriting he left on the napkin. Scoffing, I toss it to the floor. Meh, I'm not even going to bar with him right now. I have too much to deal with at work tomorrow. Too tired to even get undressed, I roll over and drift to sleep. And there he is. So, here's the save. You could actually just save right here, but I'm actually not going to. I'm just going to continue on. That's what to show you. Continue. So, Ryan, did you have a nice time with YB? Don't answer that. It's time to get up and face another day. The only reason is because there apparently is some bugs on it, so... I roll over in my bed. Every inch of my body's begging me to wake up, but I don't have the mental injury for it. It's like I didn't get any form of rest at all. I fight the will to wake up for a moment, rubbing my eyes before sitting up in my bed. I'm a mess. 9:12 a.m. 9:12 a.m. No, 9:12 a.m. Oh god, I'm late for work. Finally dressed, I rush out of my bedroom, making my way into the kitchen section where I normally put my work keys.
Hey, looks like someone's in a hurry.
Lucy. Yeah, no thanks to you, Lucy. I burst out as I snatched my keys from the counter, glaring over towards my roommate, who had the nerve to look confused. Why didn't you wake me up? My deadbeat of a roommate tensed up a little, looking both offended and startled with my sudden outburst. Good. Dude, I heard you rummaging around earlier. Don't pin your lazy butt on me. That was probably Peter. She tries to explain. Not even her excuses have any effect. That freaking bum. I then shake my head, focusing back on my predicament. No, I wasn't rummaging around earlier. I just barely woke up. You know I have to work at 7. And you let me sleep until 9? What kind of crap were you up to last night, Lucy? My roommate instantly takes offense to this, flashing me the most glorious of birds before storming off into their room. You know what? Screw you. I'm not your keeper, and you are not my frickin' dad.
And I told you not to call me Lucy.
Once my roommate slams her door shut, I simply scoff and made my way out the door. With any luck, she'll be gone before I get back. Maybe I'll find a more tolerable roommate then. I hustled down the stairs and out the apartment building, but after running into Lucy, I slowed my pace. I don't like the job anyway. If I get fired, fine. This day is already crappy, so why not just pile it on? It's a Sunday. There's usually hardly any customers on Sunday mornings, but even then, it doesn't excuse my tardiness. I saunter through the front doors of the diner, walk into the kitchen, and grab my apron off the coat hanger along the far end of the wall. The apron seemed to be the only place where grease stains don't get all over me, because that's what they're designed for. Fumbling to tie the apron on, I go to the time clock, and don't waste any time digging for my time card to punch in. If I'm going to be fired today, might as well milk it for every minute I'm here. Wait. According to this, I already clocked in. Who could have? My attention snaps towards the sound of approaching footsteps. Whoever is, they're not trying to be discreet, as they're carrying a clanking stack of dirty dishes back from the table. Doing their work, which I should be doing.
There you are. Where have you been?
TK!
I've been covering your shift for the past 45 minutes without the boss even knowing you're not here.
TK rushes right by me as they gently place the dishes into the sink of soapy hot water. Wiping their hands, TK sighs, loud enough to make sure that I hear it. They're like this all the time, though, always acting like they're the big sibling to everyone and keeping things in one piece. I huff as I try to think of an excuse that doesn't sound as pathetic as my alarm clock didn't go off, but the truth is all I have. So I try to downplay the issue. I don't get why you're making such a fuss. We're pretty much dead on Sunday morning. You clearly weren't paying attention when you came barging in. Turns around and sees a whole bunch of people. TK wipes their hands on their apron before gesturing for me to look out through the service window. What the? Are you kidding me? Why are there so many old farts here? I try not to raise my voice to the point that the fiber chopping boomers outside did not hear me. A tour bus came along, that's what happened. Now stop asking questions and start waiting tables. TK hands me a spare notepad and a pencil and nudges me out of the kitchen. Great, here I am, hoping to have an easygoing day. So much for that. The breakfast crowd is a nightmare. Karens and redneck grandpas everywhere with something up their butts. Some even going as far as refusing to pay because I didn't kiss their god-darn feet whenever their coffee was not filled all the way, or their T-bone steak wasn't cooked the way they wanted. Yeah, T-bone steak for breakfast. Not even breakfast steak and eggs either. An actual T-bone steak dinner with potatoes and steamed carrots. And then when one person refuses to order off the breakfast menu, there's a dozen more to follow suit. Such a hassle. Why couldn't the elderly be more like my grandparents, pleasant and polite? I think the person asking for the T-bone steak is more polite than my grandpa. Eventually, the crowd starts dying down. Most leaving to do some sightseeing, others staying and or more coffee or lunch. Or cereal. At least these are the kind of customers that don't mind at least these are the kind of customers that mind their own business and are more focused on eating or talking. Striking in the kitchen, I lay out a long sigh and rest against the wall, finally able to take a moment to relax. I know you want to get off your feet, but you missed the table. Oh, no, I totally didn't. TK sneaks over to my side, giving me a gentle nudge before pulling back out of the back out to the dining area. I roll my exhausted eyes and look over towards them. Can't you do it? I don't feel like having some kid hurl their juice at me again. I would, but you owe me for covering your shift for an hour. Darn it, they had a point. Yes, but with a groan, I lean myself off the wall and try to straighten my posture and stumble back out. Scanning the booths, I check all the tables I had left already gone, matching their faces and auras table by table. I don't think I missed any. A voice chimes in from the booth to my right. Hey there, stranger. I didn't want to give him a satisfaction of reply. Crossing my arms, I give him a glare. The silence was glowing, uncomfortable. For him, anyways. Me just staring at him. He shifts a little in his seat. I just thought I might visit you at work to make the day a little easier for you. Yeah, well, now is not the good. Now isn't a good time. I had a crappy morning, and I just can't. I know, but you could use a break, right? I'm sure your friend wouldn't mind. Look, I'm too busy right now, okay? Once again, he looked away and shook his head. I'll get going. Sorry. I watch as he gets up from the booth and makes his way out the diner, not even making eye contact or saying a word as he leaves. Heading back into the kitchen area, I noticed that TK was looking at me with a intrigued look on their face. What was that? What was up with that guy? Your table service that bad? Nah, it was someone who's been pestering me to go out with him. I'm just a little too flustered to deal with him right now. I noticed a slight shift in their expression that they tried to cover up. I kind of known that they had a thing for me for a while. They're probably wondering whether or not I'll give in to YB's advances. After a moment of silence, I tug off my apron and hang it up. What are you doing? I'm going to take my break. Digging around my pocket and pulling out a $5 bill. Any chance you could dish me up some lunch? Seriously? I serve customers, Wyan, not coworkers. Yeah, and I'm paying, therefore I'm a customer. Rolling their eyes, TK takes the money from my hand and tucks it away in their apron pocket. Fair point, but don't expect me to keep serving you during your workday. He said that last time. I say with a smug look on my face. TK chuckles to themselves. Just take a seat. I'll see what I can whip up for you. It's good to finally get off my feet. These shoes are not working for me. Just then, TK shows up, placing a sandwich, a small bowl of today's soup special, and a drink in front of me before taking a seat. Hey, no, I didn't order this much. I complained, though I'm not really against extra servings. I know, but I figured I'll get you a little something extra anyways. How about we split it? Well, how about we split it? I push the soup over towards them. TK looks at the soup for a moment before folding their arms and throwing a cocked eyebrow at me. What's the catch? Why do you always assume that every good deed I do has to deal with me wanting something from you? Because it's all you do. Oh yeah, we're immutable from this route. I hesitate, not knowing what to say to prove them wrong. Unable to think of something, I finally confess. I need a place to stay for tonight. There is, and here I was afraid aliens came along and took the real YN away from me. It would also explain why you're so late. Har har. I just had a bit of a nasty morning with my previous roommate. And I'm not looking forward to going face to face with her again. Just previous. TK slides the bowl towards themselves and stir the contents with a spoon. You mean Lucy? From what you've been telling me, she sounds like a real piece of work. That's the one. I sip the drink. TK, I just noticed. So if there's language right here, it cuts off on the Peter's little paper plane. I slipped the drink. TK knew exactly what my favorite drink was, and it wasn't what was poured into the cup. So, do you have a place to stay for tonight or no? TK takes a sip from the soup as they mull it over in their head. After a moment, they give a little shrug. Oh, alright. If you're feeling adventurous, you might think about staying. Me? Permanently live with you? Sure, maybe you'll be able to pile up even more favors from me when you'll never repay. They flash a smile, teasing smile before turning their attention back to the soup. Call me out like that, and I might find new friends. Good luck with that. You never find a better doormat than me. Well, speaking of that might be Peter. Oh yeah? If I'm so bad, why do you stick around? Because your bad mannerisms help me feel better about myself. It's an ego boost for me. I love TK. You're so complex, you know that? They wiggle a little in their seat before turning their gaze back over towards me.
I'm probably as manipulative as you are, so do you want in or not?
Wait, you're multiple too? So everyone's just multiple. Good old TK always seems like seeming like the victim until you pull off each mask they have on. A loyal friend with a knife behind their back. It's something that I always liked about them. And like a normal preference is like the most chill in the romantic route. Alright, after work, or the stranger route, the one who'll call the police. Alright, after work, you're gonna have to put up with me. Oh, how wonderful. By morning, I'll have so much ego that I'll have to call my landlord to cut out a wider doorway so that my head could fit through it. I do like TK. After a long agonizing day, it's time to head home with TK. Dear God, why was it so busy? My feet and head are already pounding and sore. It didn't help that I could feel someone staring at me the entire shift. And that would probably be Peter. It's a given that TK owns a car. I'm so done with walking. We step out of TK's car and look at the rather crappy apartment building. Here we are, home sweet home. This is where you live? I thought you had your own house or something. Sweetie, I'm Jennifer Food, a person of color, and I work at a diner. Does it sound like I can afford a fancy apartment building? Just with the working at a diner alone, no. Shutting up now. Smart move. Well, at least it's better on the inside. Not half bad for a cramped studio apartment. Still, I'd much rather have something more spacious. Also, I'll take living with TK as my roommate. TK sets their stuff down and looks around the place with me. Well, it's not much, but it's not much. It's a nice though. They muttered as they pull blankets and a pillow from under their bed. But the couch folds out into bed and surprisingly more comfortable than the mattress I gotta deal with. You're welcome, by the way. Still looking around the dump in silence, I give a little shrug and plop down on TK's sofa. Anything's better than dealing with Lucy, I guess. Do you at least have anything to eat around here? I'm famished. TK purses her lips and thought for a moment. Pizza? Pizza. Sounds fine. I love the rest of the day goes alright. I have a phone. I have to phone my roommate that I'm going to be away for a few days. Of course, she doesn't answer the phone, so I have to leave a message instead and pray that she checks it soon. Still, this certainly is a pleasant change from the stress of my life. I do love TK. Hours later. The one downside of sleeping in a new place is that I can't stay asleep. I need some I need some water. Getting up from the sofa, I feel around in the dark, unfamiliar area, trying to recall where the kitchen section was in this place. Jeez, who was that? Through the darkness, I see a figure standing before me. Hearing them give a brief shh sound as I feel them place their hand on my shoulder. Take care, you alright? The figure doesn't answer as I feel their hand squeeze my shoulder almost as though they're feeling me. What are you doing? I try to pull away from the figure's grip, but a red rag smothers my nose and mouth. Find back, lash out with my arms, and jerk my neck to pull my face away from the rag. Whoever this is, they subdue me by quickly wrapping their thin lips around my body and hold me tight. I tried to break free, but all they did was loosen. But they did not loosen up one bit. Oh God, I'm starting to feel drowsy and weak. Who's doing this? Why? A chill runs down my spine, and I feel a kiss against my cheek. A familiar, sickening voice whispers in my ear. You're supposed to be with me. Wait, that voice, is it? Peter. Okay, continue on to day 3. Ah! What? My head. What the heck happened? Oh God, he found me. This can't be good. TK, wake up! TK? They're not here. What on earth? Did they go into work today? I better give them a call and see what's going on. I just hope Kitsumi and Jackson are alright working today. It was supposed to be their day off. Hey, guess what? I haven't answered. Sorry about that. If you want, leave your name and number and I'll get right back to you, maybe. Great. Hey, TK, it's me. Look, we're not safe here. That prick was here last night, and we need to... We never told TK in this route that about Peter. Oh, wait, yeah, we technically did. But it's not like we were here specifically because of Peter. Hello? TK? Why did you run off with them like that? My blood ran cold. I felt my heart sink into my stomach, as if a more voice spoke. I couldn't even speak, as my phone trembled in my hands. You're making this rather difficult. I'm willing to put in extra effort for you, but I'm not very fond of mixed messages. What did you do to TK? It's just one less obstacle for you and I to deal with. Well, we're back on track on how things are supposed to be, and we can begin loving one another. Isn't that great? The chipper tone in his voice made me feel sick. My legs were losing their strength as I tried not to collapse on the floor. Okay, I'll date you. Just don't hurt TK, please. I'm stuck. This butthole is using TK to get me to date him. I must do something to make sure he doesn't hurt them. Okay, I'll date you. Just don't hurt TK, please. I'll do anything. There was a moment of silence over the phone, only his breathing. At first, until I heard a slight chuckle. You're so cute when you beg. I felt tears begin to roll up in my eyes as I heard him say that. I want to throw up. I'll tell you what. Come see me at the diner. I have something I want to show you. Hopefully this will help put things back on track. Set our love story the way it's supposed to be. Oh, and you're not calling the cops. I will know if you do. Dear God, since when did stalking shift into kidnapping so quickly? We didn't even know that he was stalking us, though, this time. Oh, wait, at night, so... Other than the last night, we didn't know he was stalking us. I couldn't stand the thought of seeing this man's face again. Even hearing his voice raised all my fight and fright instincts, with a hint of nausea. I had to do something. I didn't want to face this butthole alone, and he said that he would know if I called the police. What am I gonna do? Okay, so call the police, no go. Call FBI? We could run away together. My heart leaped up to the throat, my eyes wide as I saw the butthole right in front of me. You were hiding here? Well, yes, I had to be sure that you went to the diner like I asked. I couldn't help but cut in. I was so sick of this man. Why couldn't he leave me alone? Why are you doing this? His shoulders slouch a little, the eyes on his face fading a little upon hearing me ask this. I told you, I'm your boyfriend, I always have been. My eyes welled up with tears upon hearing this. Both fear and disgust were nearly unbearable. God, if I could just get hit by a car and die on impact, I would welcome it. Maybe have him get hit instead. Either way, it's bliss. Me get hit by a car and get isekai to someplace else, and then instead you get isekai back to day one. Groundhog Day effect. A boyfriend doesn't force themselves into a relationship, stalk, and kidnap friends. Oh, hey now, I didn't kidnap TK. He reassured me, looking a little startled by my assumption. I just made sure there was one less obstacle between us, I promise. What did you do to them, then? You barged in here like a freaking bat out of heck and knocked me out. I know, and I'm sorry. There's a parts of my personality that I can't control as much as I would love to. What are you talking about? It's not porn. I just hope it doesn't interfere with our happy ending. Happy ending? You still think we're a couple after all of this? It's like, yes. Don't raise your voice, darling. You wouldn't want anyone else getting hurt, would you? About that. I'm gonna Dear God, that wasn't a threat. That was a promise. He was willing to harm anyone who would get in his way. Freaking psychopath. Because I'm gonna... No. I know you wouldn't. You're a good person like that. It only makes you all the more loving to me. What do you want from me? He seems taken back and confused by my question. I don't want anything from you. All I need is your... Okay, I'll say that again. I want nothing more. I don't want anything from you. All I need is your love. And come heck or high water, I will do anything to achieve that. Besides leaving me the heck alone. Besides that, sorry. It's like, no, he's not sorry about that. I thought for a moment, wanting to see if he was just being poetic, serious, or I had to test him. We're testing him, all right. Take me to TK. I spoke in a nearly demanding voice. You stalked me, followed me to my work, knocked me out, and kidnapped my friend. You owe me this much. He stood there, his expression nearly unreadable at first before giving me a little nod. All right, I brought my van with me, so there will be no need to walk all the way there. I would like to walk instead, actually. You know, does TK still have their vehicle? Because if Peter just grabbed him with his van, I might still be able to get to TK's vehicle and drive TK's vehicle. His stance became more offensive. Offensive, and he stepped closer, his eyes looking deep into mine as he spoke. You want to see TK? We're taking my van. He wasn't asking, he was demanding. Fine, but if you try anything, I'll kick you and make you crash, killing us both. Dying together, darling, that would actually be a blessing for me. For Pete's sake. Wayne parked on the curve is a worn-down-looking gray van, its windows darkly tinted on the side. All it needs is a free candy sign, and it's good to have several people report it. YB opens the van door for me, helping me inside before closing it shut. Inside isn't too bad. He keeps it decently clean with a cachet collection of scented pine trees, and a rear view mirror, and an ashtray filled with various coins. I sat in the passenger seat, leaning as far away from him as I possibly could. That butthole was still wearing his stupid grin as he set himself in the driver's seat and turning on the van. I was so ready to kick open the door and jump out, making a run for it and getting help. Who knows how fast this man's reflexes were, though, so I didn't want to try. The drive was awkwardly quiet, at least I was. The butthole tried to start up a conversation during this time. So I understand your family your family life isn't going too well, huh? Stay quiet. Well, my family life was pretty bad. My family life was never the best. If anything, we are all really like just one. We all really would like to just rip each other apart. I don't think we're even a family, just people with labels for content. Do you have anyone like that in your life? No. Remain quiet. I have a lot of folks like that in mine. It's like they're not even real, you know? Like you're just so much better not having them at all. Sometimes you just want to jab a split of wood into their back, wrap your hands around their throats and squeeze, maybe stab them multiple times. You know that feeling? I'm not Ghostface, so no. Don't say anything. I get it. You're not in much of a mood to talk, I understand. Would you like to listen to some music instead? Carry on, world, son. Let me see what I could find. I didn't react as he flipped through the stations. My mind was too focused on seeing TK, again hoping that they would be alright. Here we go. To be honest, I hate the song. I swear I bleed eternally each time it comes on. Which song is it? Is it Carry On, My Son? Carry On, My Wayward Son? Because I will sing you off beat. Then why do you listen to it? Because it fuels me, reminds me why I'm here, why I do the things I do, why I need you, why I need you. Why? He doesn't respond as he reaches to turn off the radio, his eyes staying on the road as he goes on. We're here. Pulling off to the curve, YB puts his van into park and kills the engine. He nearly hopped out and was about to come around to open my door. I didn't want to give him the satisfaction as I opened the passenger door on my own, nearly knocking him with it. I wish I did. Sure wish I did. It's like, bam, okay, run! Well, here we are. Now what? Didn't have asthma attack up the road. Now we wait. I'm sure your boss is already inside, so they'll be arriving any minute now. Who? Just then I hear sirens in the distance. YB smiled a little as he turned his attention over towards the diner. Here they come. I watch as the scene before me escalated. One by one, people began to gather outside the diner. YB remained quiet, watching everything with me. Occasionally, he would try to hold my hand, but I would quickly yank it away from him and step further away. I couldn't stay quiet any longer. Why are we here? Where's TK? I told you, Ryan. I did not kidnap them. They're not even in my possession, tied up in a way and in need of rescuing. None of that. YB. He doesn't respond at first, his eyes just glaring towards me for a moment before turning his attention back towards the diner. I tried to be chill, caring, aware that my actions were too bold. I tried to make it up to you, apologize, start fresh. And what did you do? You run off with them. They liked you, really liked you. Heck, I dare say they might have actually. It might have actually been. It might have been actual love. I couldn't let them get in our way. This is about us, not them. So remove them. You what? Not to worry, I made sure the first strike was quick, though I got carried away afterwards. This can't be. I didn't think once about my safety. I didn't consider the dangers I put myself in for acting as I did the moment I heard this. Instantly, I bolted across the street. I couldn't even hear him calling out for me, or care for the cars that slammed their brakes to avoid hitting me. TK? TK? Hey, you're entering a crime scene. You can't be in here. But my friend is in here. No, no, no! I tried to force my way into the kitchen, but a set of arms wrapped around me tightly, pulling me away from the horrific scene before me. I tried to kick and struggle against raising a fuss. I was far from hysterical to notice why be apologizing to the officer and carrying me out of the diner. Before I knew it, I was roughly shoved against the wall in some alleyway, his hand over my mouth and to hush me from further yelling. Darling, calm yourself. How the hell can I calm myself? You sick butthole! You tried to kill me. You ex-allied my friend. You think I wanted to? You think I was eager to slice them into ribbons the very moment I had the chance? Yes. I had so many chances before, so many times I easily could have done it, but I didn't. I killed them because you gave me no choice. Are you kidding? You blaming all this on me? I don't blame you. You're simply forced my hand. Because I wouldn't date some creep who's been following me? Because you ran off with them. I was no threat. I was ready and willing to do anything you asked of me. Whenever it took for me to be all yours, that's why I'm here. You're my reason for being here. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? You're the what's wrong with me. You're the one that keeps me awake at night. You're the one who's always on my mind, the one that makes my heart beat out of my chest each time I see you, smell you. You want to know the truth? The truth is that I'm mad to the point where I caress your skin while you sleep soundly each night. You're insane. YB chuckles. Yes, but it's all for you, love. I freeze as I feel his lips against my cheek, followed by a hot, wet sensation of a tongue trailing along my neck before he whispers. And if you tell anyone, I'll kill them too. Saying this, he takes my hand into his, intertwining his fingers along with mine as he nips at my ear. I'll be by your place later tonight, dear. YB doesn't say anything more as he pulls away, a crooked smile and lust lingering in his eyes while he takes his leave out of the alley and down the street. I take a moment to register what just happened, everything he told me. I'm stuck. TK is dead because of me, and he'll do it again if I try to reach out for help. Dear God, I'm stuck. I didn't go back to my place. I couldn't. The way he spoke before leaving, for sure, he knew where I lived too. Why would he? Why wouldn't he? The butthole was a stalker and murderer after all. Maybe running away is the best option. I still couldn't shake the feeling of his touch on my body, his voice still ringing in my ears. It felt so hopeless. I couldn't turn to anyone. I couldn't go back home. I might have to just skip town and vanish. Hopefully, he doesn't find out and follow me. Do I even dare to answer? It might be him. Holding my breath, I pull out my phone, taking a quick glance to see who was calling. Don! Oh, thank God it's not him. Though, still troubling since he's been harassing me about rent for a while now. But given what I'm going through, I'd rather be chewed out about rent right now. Taking a deep breath to calm myself, I answered the phone, trying to answer as normal as possible. Hey, hi. I didn't expect you to call. How's it going? Okay. What's wrong? What do you mean? I'm fine. I just wasn't expecting a call from you or anything. The other half of the rent is still not paid, and you haven't come back since yesterday. There was a murder at your workplace, and you're telling me everything's fine. Oh, you heard about that? It's been all over the news, and my son was in the scene when someone who worked there burst in and made a scene before vanishing. That was you, wasn't it? Yes. Crap. Okay, you're right. Nothing is fine. Everything's worse. But I can't say. I can't stay anymore. Can't stay? What's going on? I'm in a bad spot right now. Really bad. If I tell you, you might get hurt too. Where are you right now? What? Where are you at? I'll come by and pick you up. Tell him the location. I paused for a moment, quickly looking at my surroundings to make sure no one was following me. Away from my earshot, away from any earshot. I might have the chance to reach out, a chance to get away from this freak. I'm on the main street that leads to the park. I whispered quietly, still looking over my shoulder to make sure he wasn't eavesdropping. And please hurry. I think the guy's following me. I'm on my way. Thank you, sir. Just call me Don, okay? Hang tight. I didn't even have time to thank him again as he quickly hung up. Honestly, I didn't even expect him to go out of his way like this, especially since each encounter we ever had were negative ones about the rent and harassing Lucy about paying her in. Taking one last paranoid scan around my environment, I started making my way down the road. I slowed my steps this time in case the landlord, Don, needed time to catch up with me. I didn't dare think about going into the park itself, though. It was far too dangerous. Regret was buzzing in my head. If only I had known that Don would be willing to reach out and help, I would have run back home in the first place and tell him about everything. And how the heck was I supposed to know he had a son who was a cop? Well, talking to him might have helped. Once he picked me up, Once he picks me up, I'm gonna tell him everything. Hopefully, he'll have his son over and see if we could get this this creep arrested. Or would that put him in too much danger? Oh, this place. I kind of wish it was open so I could just walk in and try to hide away for an hour. I always wanted to stop here, but never did. It might benefit me, since this creep is following me in the first to places I've been. Oh, he's probably there. No such luck tonight, unfortunately. I should keep walking. Hey, kid. I nearly yelped as I was startled by the sudden call, my racing heart instantly calming down as I saw who it was. You shouldn't be standing in one place like that. Sorry, I kinda got distracted. How can anyone be distracted with the situation you're in right now? Because it's hopeless. Because it's gonna stop me, kidnap me no matter what. I'm sorry. Just get in the car. You can explain everything on the way. The ride was quiet. Don only asked what was going on, and I dared not to tell him. I already lost my best friend. I didn't want to dare chance putting my landlord in danger. Sure, he and I are not even acquaintances, but at this point, though, I didn't want any more blood on my hands. He didn't repeat himself, or even press the issue when I kept quiet. I think he knew I was in no mood to get into depths about all this, not yet. When we finally got back to the apartment, Don simply stated that we're going to his place first. I didn't argue. I really didn't feel like being alone anyways. Wow, what a mess. And he harasses us about keeping our place clean? Jeez, I should still be grateful though that he's helping me out. Don closes the door behind him. And behind me, I hear him lock the door before walking in further into his place, kicking aside a garbage bag that's probably filled with old newspapers or something. It wasn't garbage since it smelled more like cigars than rotten trash, thank God. Now, wouldn't cigars be trash too? Now, I'm not gonna break your arm and make you tell me everything, but I need to know what's going wrong. You're in trouble, and you know who killed that person at your work. I hesitated, the mix of wanting help and remembering the creep's threat, both jungled back and forth in my mind. I don't know, I think I put you in enough danger just by having you come get me. He stepped closer. His usual rough stance seemed to be softened, and as he held his hand up to me, the soft tone that came from him was unexpected. Yet I felt safe as he spoke. I want to help you. Tell him everything. Bringing up my trembling hands, I place in his, feeling the tears build up in my eyes once more. He's been stalking me. He snuck into my room, followed me on my walks, at my work, kept saying that he was my boyfriend. I kept telling him to leave me alone, but he wouldn't listen. I stayed with TK for the night last night. He found me, and he killed him. He killed my friend. TK's dead, and it's all my fault. All the frustrations finally crashed out. The sensation of the butthole's hands and lips on me returned, and I wanted to collapse, peel my skin off, or burn it even. I could feel Dawn gently squeeze my hand, attempting to pull me out of my crumbling state of mind. Looking up at him, I just couldn't help myself anymore, shaking my head as I stepped forward and rested my head against his chest. The tears finally let go as I became a sobering mess. Don didn't hesitate to fully comply with my need for comfort. Both his arms now wrapped around me and holding me close as I crumbled, my tears streaming his shirt. I don't know how long he held me. It might have been hours, maybe only minutes, but the way he kept me close like this, it was an odd sensation, a feeling of protection that I never felt before. It was welcoming. I felt him rub my back before pulling me away a little bit, giving me some space before speaking back up once again. We're going to the police station. You do not deserve to live in fear like this. Understand? I wiped the tears from my eyes, only able to give a nod agreement. There was no way in heck I was gonna fight him on this. What the? Is this normal? No, it's not. His answer sent the feeling of dread from me. Somehow I knew what it was, who it was. He's here.
You wait here. Lock not come out or make any calls until I come back. Do not answer the door if anyone comes knocking, and stay hidden if someone busts in. All right?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, but Sorry, Don. Don doesn't wait to hear my express my gratitude, closing the door firmly. I hear his footsteps as he storms away from the door and down the hall. I do what I am told and walk it. I underestimate how many walks this man has. Damn near 6 of them for me to figure out. I hope things go smoothly. Don seems like he's the kind of man who could easily take on YB. I sit amongst the clutter, keeping quiet and listening to any commotion that might occur. The window. What was that?
I told you not to tell anyone.
Before I could call for help, I feel his hand grip tightly around my throat. I can't make a sound. I try to fight back in some way, punching, kicking, lashing out. I'm hurting him, but his grip doesn't loosen one bit as he takes the hits. I can't breathe. It's time to go home, love. What's getting to day 4? What happened? I don't know this place. Where am I? What the? I'm tied up? Oh, good, you're awake. I was starting to get worried. You've been out for a while now. Yeah, you knocked me out. Please don't hurt me. Untie me now. Untie me now. I know he's obsessed with me, and so far it's worked to my advantage. I can't lose the control, especially now. Untie me now. It's a risky place to order him around, but Peter just gives me a blank stare. Wait, now I know his name here. I can see the wheels in his head turning as he tries to regain control over the situation. Sorry, I need you to stay calm. Trust me. This is for your own safety. You killed TK, you knocked me out, then you tied me to a bed. And then we don't know what happened down yet. I don't let him finish his pitiful justifications as I play my outrage has him on the mental ropes. How do you expect me to rat? Am I supposed to fall into your arms and shower you with love after you do all this to me? His eyes break away from mine as he considers my words. Do you think I could ever love someone who kidnapped me? YB glares back at me. The look in his eyes tells me he's a little worried that he's built up is shattering around him like glass. Everything is at stake for him, and I could tell he's struggling for any validation I can give. Oh crap, I didn't mean... He races to my side and begins to fumble with knots that bind my wrist. You know, I'll never... Just untie me, and I'll be fine. I throw the drowning man what he thinks is a lifeline. To me, it was a baited hook that could use to reel him in further. I sit up, scanning my surroundings, trying to get my bearings. He doesn't it doesn't look like some dirty basement. I wasn't on some mold-infested mattress either. So glass half full at least. He didn't lock me in some kind of dungeon. Where am I? You're home. YB purrs with satisfaction. Home? This isn't my room at all. No. Your new home. It's bigger, cozier, and you don't need to worry about that loud roommate of yours waking you up in the middle of the night. You never need to cook again, or work, or clean. I'll take care of all of it for you. You never need to leave this room. And best of all, You don't need to pay anything to be here. No rent, no obnoxious landlords, nothing. You can live however you want here. And you expect me to be grateful, dog? He frowns, clearly hurt at my insult. How about I get you a drink? It might help you calm down and settle into your new surroundings. He nervously made his way for the door, closing it behind him. Rubbing my sore wrist, I admit the place looked better than my old room. Not enough for me to want to stay here, though. Maybe I could find a way out from here. Ryby rushes back in with a glass of water and a plate with peanut butter jelly sandwich. Here you are, love. A little hydration to help you feel more calm. I take the water and what seemed to be painkillers he passed to me. The image of YB knocking me out comes to the surface of my memory. I glare at him, eyebrows raised. He chuckles softly. Don't worry, dear. If I wanted you dead or unconscious, then you already would be. Well, he did knock me out unconscious, so... I reluctantly knock back the pills and take a big swig of water. I reach up to rub my head. The cough of the bandage and the stringing blues remind me how well the idiot clocked me. Where's Don? He's not porn right now. Yes, he is. He was trying to protect me. From you. Darling, he was trying to have you all to himself. If only you knew the perversion he had towards you. Why? You'll be thanking me. I swear to God, if you hurt him. Wipey pauses, as if in thought, and then leans forward to gaze directly into my eyes. Remember when I told you I was your boyfriend back at the park? What does that have to do with all this? Everything. Since the very moment I saw you, I knew we were destined to be together. Whether you want to or not, there's no changing or going back from where we are both meant to be. You could call it match made in heaven, or even proof that there's no God, given how twisted the whole thing is. It doesn't matter. What matters is that I always going to love you. You can make me pull my teeth out, cut off my fingers, make me bite off my own tongue, everything. I will still love you until my dying day. Challenge accepted. YB places his hand on my thigh. My skin crawls as skin prickles at his touch. Like, that's what. I'm all yours. Your slave, your happy ending, your tragedy, your dream, your nightmare. I belong to you, and I will do whatever it takes to remain as your possession. Recoiling, I pull my leg away from his grasp. You're a monster. My words cut through him as his dreamlike expression faded. I know. I'm fully aware that what I've done is terrible, unforgivable, but it has to be this way for us. Leaning over, he places a kiss on my brow before standing up. I'm left with a sickening weight settling in my stomach. I got a lot of making up to do. Maybe you'll understand the next day, but the choice is yours. I just hope you make the right ones. What's mine is yours either way. I got work to do, so feel free to explore our new home. If you need anything, I'll be in my room. With that said, YB walks out and leaves, closing the door behind him. Dawn, you can't be dead, please. I jump out of the bed and take a closer look around the room. No windows, of course. Well, I better make the best of this messed up situation. My books. I guess they have a new location to collect dust now. It's one of those all-in-one PCs. Pretty pricey. No internet, though. Useless. It's like, Pretty sure I'd rather not have an all-in-one PC. Just my desktop is far more superior than that. Soundproof panels. Really? I'll take these down later. If this is one of those two-way mirrors, I swear to God. The candle's perfect for not slamming into walls when the power goes out. Hey, he got me one of those. Would be funny if I placed them in front of the door. Are these his clothes? I don't recognize them. Moving in my dirty clothes. How creepy can this guy get? Moving in my dirty clothes. Okay. Spare hair. Nothing to write home about. Looks like most of my favorite snacks are here. Good. Just curry, nothing sign. Perfect to forget my situation. Still warm. Guess he made himself a cup earlier. What the? Most of these are empty. All I'm finding is stale cereal and a few cans of cat food. Why is Peter eating cat food? And of course, a small table just for two of us. Looks like various cookbooks, books on cooking, some candles, and a map. What's with this creeping roses? I suppose I could watch some TV if it's working as. If there's a body in here, I'm gonna be ticked off. I checked the pockets one by one. Nope, nothing, not even loose change. He locked it. He doesn't even have hair. Why would he need an umbrella? A snake? He has a pet snake. I was expecting a dead raccoon or a feral dog. It's like a feral dog. Locked. Okay, got it. Looks like YB has some cooking issues. No wonder he's skinny. Dang, I'm skinny doesn't mean I can't cook. Sleep disease. Do not see two tablets a day. Hey, now it looks like he went out of his way to get all my favorite products. He better not use any. How many new things did he get? Just buy a new house. For just buy a new house for heck's sake. Buying a house is expensive though. Yep, he locked it. Okay. We pretty much asked for put everything. Oh, you're already up and about. Well, yeah. I don't want to be lounging in my room all day. I took a moment to look at the room he was occupying. The room would be a claustrophobic nightmare. Is this your room? Well, yes. I need some place to sleep and do my work. And you got a better PC. Did you always sleep here? Do you always sleep here? It's so small. No, but I slept in much tighter places. Your closet was a bit challenging for the first few weeks, but I managed. Peter. My closet? He pauses, realizing he just fed me information that I wasn't supposed to know. Oh, we already knew that. Anyways, I need to get back to the script. It's not gonna edit itself. With a nervous chuckle, he sits back down at his desk and begins tinkering away at his keyboard and mouse, leaving me haunted with the thought of knowing he's been sleeping in my closet for God knows how long. Look, I would really like to get back sometime soon. He turns to me, clearly confused. Back? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you think I mean, moron? Back to my apartment, back to my life. Darling, I don't think you understand. There's no going back. This is us now, forever. What are you talking about? I'm not taking you back. Everything you could possibly need is right here. There's nothing for you back there. Fine, I'll just walk home. I wonder if I were you. There's nothing around us but miles of forest, and if a bear trap doesn't get to you, wild animals might. Pretty sure wild animals would be more scared of me. Unless they're actually feral. The reality of my situation sinks in. This freak really does have me trapped. Don't worry, darling. Give it a few days, and I'll know you'll come around. I'll do whatever I can to make you settle in. I just have to finish this last bit of work, and I'll be right out to tend to your every need. I don't think I could be any more revolted. Well, by all means, take your time. I think I can stand not being creeped out for a few hours. His smile falls as he returns to the screen. Well, time to make myself busy. At least he has power into this. Channel 3 News. Resulted in numerous injuries. The organizer of the event stated that in hindsight, it was a terrible idea to host the annual gunpowder and dynamite convention next door to the annual candle making festival, and will avoid this next year. In other words, in our news, the recent murder of T.Y. Kimpson Lee Parker is still under investigation. They were found in the freezer of Dad's Dam Diner yesterday morning. Police say that they're currently attempting to find and talk to a coworker of the victim, whose witnesses saw accompanying them home the night before the murder. They reportedly haven't been seen since. The owner of the diner, however, states that he doesn't suspect the coworker of any wrongdoing. Instead, says that he suspects a stranger who's been seen lingering around the establishment in recent months, acting suspiciously. We will have more on this as the program continues. And now for the weather, Jim. It's like Peter, he didn't even try to hide this. My mind goes hazy for a brief moment, seeing the aftermath of YB's insanity playing out on the TV screen. It's so surreal. Hearing that I was a suspect is enough to make me vomit. This time we're not actually being a suspect. They're just trying to find us to see where we're at. Probably because we disappeared. But one thing stood out to me the most. Stranger acting suspiciously. That could only be YB. Which means that either way, they must be on our trail. Maybe I won't have to stay in this heck hole for long. Darling, are you alright? I snap out my hopeful daydreaming, my captor's voice bringing me crashing back to Earth once again. You do know that they know you killed TK, right? I point to the screen on the headline as the headline scrolls across the screen, detailing the murder. YB casually picks up the remote and turns the TV off before sitting himself down next to me. Don't fret, darling. They'll never find us. I promise I'll be careful. Oh yeah? And how do you know for sure? How do you know the cops won't come crashing in here at any moment? YB gives me a smile, scooting closer to me as he rests his arms along the back end of the sofa. I don't think it would be those cops, because they're in a different district, though. They're 3 hours away. They would have a different district. Reaching over, he gently takes my chin into his hand. Then again, there was a story that the two cops from 2 hours, the next big town, drove 2 hours away, and because with a car trace, and ended up in our city, and it ended up basically being a 2-hour situation. Reaching over, he gently takes my chin into his hand. My love, my dearest, if they come here, they're not leaving. You wouldn't, would you? You wouldn't, would you? I mean, how could you take an armed law enforcement? He chuckles a little as his hand caresses up from my chin to my cheek, leaning in close as he speaks. Darling, what happened in the diner was my first murder. And if anyone tries to barge in here, it certainly will not be my last. Something about his tone took me by surprise. The lack of care, worry, or even desperation to put my mind at ease. This wasn't an empty promise. Ego or pride that was passing his lips. It was what he was saying was a guarantee. It was a promise. A cold chill runs down my body as he kisses my brow and stands up from the sofa. Now, let's not worry about all that. If you need me, I'll be in my room. I still got some scripting I need to finish before submitting it to my editor. He's very punctual. He takes his leave from the front room, heading back to his closed workspace. Darn, he's willing to take the law from me. Interesting. I turn the TV off once again. After a few moments of silence, I don't care to see anything else about YB's psycho antics, nor to see my own name being slandered and tarnished as a murderer. Well, they literally said that they don't think we're the murderer. I need to find something else to occupy my time. Darling, are you hungry? Yeah, I guess. I was just looking around to see if I have to resort to cannibalism. Goodness, there's no need for that. I have a garden outside after all, in case food supplies get low. Would you like me to cook you something? You better make it good. You better make it good. I huff, closing the fridge and stepping away. Of course, only the best. Let me see. Seeing myself on the table, watch the man fumble over himself. My watchful gaze must be nerve-wracking as he nervously works over the stove. He's just not very good at cooking. Tipping over seasonings, nearly burning himself multiple times, spilling the grains, and the occasional ouch hissed under his breath while chopping something. After a while, the smell of something burning lingers in the air, with YB standing in the front of the stove, looking absolutely defeated. How about I order something for you instead? What do you mean? What do you even have around here? I mean, there's a little bar a few miles away. And how far is a few miles? 84 miles from here. Peter, 84 miles is a lot. Seriously? That's all the way in the next town. It's not a problem. I'll figure something out. Forget it. I mumble, getting up from my seat and walking over to him. The stove and surrounding area is a mess. Various spices are scattered across the counter. Bits of chopped food on the floor, and in the frying pan were very two burnt slices of toast, of cheese sloppily cut into thick chunks, barely covering the bread. Observing Wybe's hands, his fingers are covered in cuts, failing to hide them from me. My question is, Peter's good with the knife on, being like Ghostface and going stabby stabby, but he can't cut food without cutting himself. Peter, what the heck were you trying to make? A deluxe grilled cheese sandwich. I examined the cuts he affected upon himself more closely, seeing the pearls of red beating from the lactation, from the cuts. Thank God I stopped you. I don't want blood all over my food. His expressions is shame. He expresses his shame. He expresses his shame as he pulls his hands away from me, using his own shirt to conceal and mop up the blood from his hands. I'm sorry. Whatever. Just go get yourself cleaned up. Wybe looks to the floor in embarrassment. No doubt he was hoping all of this would go a lot better. He hurriedly makes his way to the bathroom. While he takes care of that, I might as well keep looking around. Oh, I see you met Rat. Rat? Yep, that's her name. I didn't know what to call her, so I called her Rat. You are what you eat, after all. That's the most unoriginal thing I ever heard. Yes, well, keep in mind, I don't value myself as a creative person. You shouldn't even be valued at all. I won't argue that. Can I name it? You want to name Rat? Why not? Give it a better name, at least. Like you did me. What? Did your parents name you Dog or something? I wouldn't put it past them. So what do you want to name her? Ghostface. How about Ghostface? I'm not here to nitpick whatever name you give her. She's yours just as much as she is mine. Does that mean I can have a pet of my own? I don't see why not. Good, because I have a list since Dawn didn't allow pets in the apartment. Well, I'm not your landlord. More like a victim. I mean, if you like. Not now. He smirks his head back to his room. Oh, hey, darling. Startled, I whirl around to find him staring dead at me. Guess I'll have to start getting used to that. What? Well, you seem kind of coked up and restless. Maybe you could use some fresh air? I mean, with the lack of windows, I can imagine you're getting a little stuffy in here. It wouldn't hurt to let you take a little stroll around the house. Oh my god, he's actually letting me outside? Yeah, well, I was actually wondering how things look outside of here. Well, you're about to find out. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a very worn-looking key. Its crew came with the house when it was first built. Wybe unlocks the door, gently swinging it open and stepping to the side, and extending his arm towards the outdoors. Alright, go ahead and look around. Just don't get in the shed. It's a little messy. Oh, and don't go too far. It's easy to get lost in these woods if you don't know the area. Plus, there's more than one thing that bites out there. He heads back to his room, gesturing to me as he reaches the door. Not there's nothing in here that will give you... not that there's nothing in here that will give you a bite too. Gross. He returns to his bedroom, giving me a wink as he shuts the door. His door. Stepping out, I look out over the thick, dense forest beyond the porch. My God, we really are in the middle of nowhere. I didn't take YB for a nature kind of person. Well, I take him as a person that does not like being around people, so I take a few steps forward and turn my head back towards the house. From the outside, it looked pretty cozy. You never guessed the resident was such a creep. It makes me wonder what other secrets this place has. Okay, I can just go back in. Okay. Well, I remember this piece of junk on wheels. The house looks a lot less inviting with the scrap heap parked outside. I take a closer look at the staining on and around the van. Right, is that rust or rust? That's a good one. This is YB we're talking about. Against all my better instincts, I walk over to the back of the van, reaching my hand out to open the doors. Nothing. Looks like whoever was in here, he already dragged out. Yeah, but it does not look. The trail continues into the backyard. It must be the shed YB mentioned. I shudder to think of what he keeps in here, but the red trail doesn't fill me with hope. There's no way he doesn't want me to checking out this place because it's messy. My curiosity gained the better of me. I reached for the door. Of course, as if this place couldn't get any more eerie. Well, I made it this far. Let's check out his little shack of horrors. The rotted wood starts creaking underneath my weight as I descend. Oh boy, this freak is just full of surprises. Looks like a journal. My therapist suggested that I keep a journal write in it whenever my anxiety attacks come along. Writing does help me feel grounded, putting my thoughts on paper. Not sure how this will help with trembling hands, but I guess that's where breathing exercises come in. Or you're like me and that's just part of you because I have hand tremors. This entry seems to be from a couple of days ago. Okay, the shakes are kicking in, all because we're going to be meeting face to face for the first time. Deep breaths in and out. Maybe make myself some tea after this. Tea sounds lovely. If things don't work out, it's not the end of the world. I can just move on, at least. I hope I can. Well, you didn't move on. You kidnapped us. There's a great deal of pages that were pulled out. Everything else is blank. Something's leaking out of the bag and onto the floor. This is obviously what was in the back of YB's van. With hesitated fingers, I reach over to pull back the black plastic. Dawn? No, not again. In my shock, I scream. This butthole hit this sick piece of this sick creep of a man staring at the body before me. I backed away in shock, covered my mouth as I kept my stomach felt my stomach churn inside out. I told you not to come in here. I turn around and find the rare mellow YB, who was almost smirking a little as he looked at the red-soaked bag. I did it for you. For me? Did I freaking ask for this? But don't call me darling. Call me darling one more time, and I'm cutting out your tongue. He gets a hint that I'm not in the mood to put up with any lovey-dovey talk. I firmly point at the blood-soaked workbench, and I glare at YB, trying not to look at Dawn's mutilated remains. Why? He didn't respond at first, gazing at the floor as though searching for the right answers, right words. He'd better. I'm seconds away from beating him to death myself. I knew he was worried about you. I knew he'd come looking for you if he knew you were gone. I didn't want to run the risk of anyone finding you. What? We're out in the middle of wilderness. No one's ever gonna be able to find this place. Are you sure about that? He spoke in a strangely mild voice, his expression going from pathetic to somewhat ominous. I didn't want to argue. He's too delusional to be reasoned with. I don't need a goddamn hitman. You're supposed to be a doormat. And I still am. Yeah, Peter, I don't know if you know what the definition of doormat is. This is definitely not it. Why don't you have a little look around here? You might see how devoted I am to you. As if he hasn't shown me enough horrific crap already. He just stands there. It's very rough. I'm glad he doesn't have this in the house. Another one? How many does this guy need? Yeah, the camera. A lot of romance novels. What? A lot of romance novels. Some mystery books, and the rest are books about medicine and human biology. Unsettling. Yeah, especially because he is, well, technically like a slasher. The romance novels and some mystery books. Or the normal ones. I turn the knob and find myself in a plain bedroom. What the heck? Well, it would be unremarkable if it wasn't for the madman's collage posted all over the wall in front of me. Holy cow. Both intimate and pedestrian photos of me were everywhere. Where I work, where I shop, who I talk to. All of them on the wall. I know I shouldn't be surprised at this point, but this was insanely creepy. It's covered in photos of me. Okay. It's very worn down. Old even. How long has he been sleeping on this thing? I take a seat on the bed, overwhelmed by the images of myself plastered all over the walls. So, what do you think? I think you need help. I try not to retch at the gross display of unhealthy worship. I wasn't joking when I said I would do anything for you. You are the very meaning of my existence. You are the reason I even get up in the morning. Life without you isn't life at all. I tried so many times to fill this gaping void, my pathetic life with something else, anything else, but nothing ever fulfilled me. This spiel is riling me up. I can't listen to this crap anymore. I just wanted him to shut up, and go away. You say you love me, right? Of course. Liar. What? I'm not lying. I can prove it to you. Ask me anything, and I'll do it. Anything? Anything. The gears in my head begin to turn. So many possibilities unfold before me, most of them involving him finally getting to suffer. The pliers in your little tool room. Go get them. I'm still gonna cry at this, but at this point he killed 2 people. YB doesn't hesitate as he hurries out of the room, and just as Cookie makes his way back. Here we are. No, those are for you. YB gives a puzzled expression as he glances between myself and the pliers in his hands. Okay, what do you want me to do with them? Prove your love to me. YB stands there, dumbly for a moment. A grim realization settles in. Speaking of pliers and him, my keychain for him fell out, and I had to use pliers to fix it. Not in the same capacity as what we're gonna do, sadly. Anything for you, my love. He opens his mouth wide. Oh god, he's really gonna... Taking the pliers, he latched onto one of his jagged teeth, and then... more? YB speaks in such a weak tone, his hands trembling and tears form in his eyes as he looks at me for approval. YB stands there with tears filled eyes as blood from his mouth drips down onto the floor. I'm at a loss for words, stunned over the lengths he would go for me. YB places the pliers on his chest, a chest of drawers, and stumbles towards me, trying to hide the pain he was going through. He takes my hand into his. I'm not lying. I truly do love you. This little demonstration is just the surface of what I would do for you, and I promise I would do it all over again. YB places a kiss on my brow before making his way over towards his bed and collapsing. You better head to bed. I'll give you space and sleep here for the night. I whip a bloody kiss mark from my forehead as I leave the room. In my bed, I replay today's events in my mind. He truly is desperate, so willing to even hurt himself in such a horrific way for me. He said to himself he would do it again. So how many more teeth would he pull? How many more people would he hurt in my name? This was so screwed up. I sharply take in a breath, knowing that I won't be getting much sleep tonight. And that was end of day 4. If you like my content, please subscribe, like the video, help out, and comment down below. I'll see you guys next time.